Hi everyone, today I'm going to review Love Hip Hop Atlanta Season 5 Exposed and Unfiltered Part 1. Now when it first came on, I thought Mona and the people over at VH1 and the producers and all that was trying to put us in a trick bag. I'm like, I know we're not fit to have a part 1 and part 2 of Exposed and Unfiltered and then have like 3-4 doggone reunions. I was going to get mad about that. But to my delight, no. We only have part 1 and part 2 of this. I'm like, Mona, y'all been dragging this out long enough. Let's get on there to the Hollywood and see what they got going on. So let's talk about the discussion that was first brought up. Like, is Jocelyn on drugs? KK feels she is. Mimi feels she is. And so does Carla Red. But KK went further into it. Like, she knows the exact drug she was taking. Like, she didn't actually see with her own eyes. And not just heard from the streets. And she feels that she's on cocaine. Now, I'm guessing that is cocaine and lean. Jocelyn, she tends to act like she's on to. I'm not saying she is, but the way she been acting this season, like she's been doing just a wee bit too much. Then we got Jocelyn and Donn sitting over there. They still haven't said what she was going to expose to Carla Red. Y'all know when she like her and Carla Red first met up, she was sitting there. I have this envelope, and you keep acting the way you're gonna act. And I'm going to let this secret out to the world. Donn, you can tell it. Donn said like, nah, I'm not even going to do that. It's like that whole situation it wasn't last season or season before, like, oh, I have my marriage certificate right here, but I'm just not going to show y'all kind of situation. That's what I think that was. I'm like, how is it that Donn and Jocelyn are yet friends again if Donn was doing the things she was doing? I asked this before, and I know, yes, this is a scripted reality show, but like, even if I was on a scripted reality show, I'm not going to be hanging out with somebody who exposed like details of my life I didn't want people to know. So yeah, that was them. So Mimi refuses to film with Jocelyn, and I think that was a good idea, because I know Mimi was probably having some flashbacks to that beatdown she got from Jocelyn a few seasons ago. And that whole water thrown in face last episode. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe. And I'm not going to film with Jocelyn. Like, the question was, like, why did y'all even try to become friends again? It's like, I wanted to bury the hatchet for what is her #1 reason for doing everything. Said everybody, for my daughter. I'm tired of Mimi using Eva as an excuse for everything she does. I bought a new house. This is the 3rd house that I bought in like the 5 seasons we was on here for my daughter. I decided to, hey, since the sex tape was out, go ahead and get it done because I'm going to get paid. Why? Because of my daughter. Now, I don't know what her excuse was, like after we, realized that, hey, you did this on purpose. But Mimi, stop using Eva as an excuse. Like, even if he's like, I thought they was married, so that's why I wanted to, bury the hatchet with Jocelyn because she was my daughter's stepmother. But then I was like, you was contradicting yourself, because later on when they brought up the whole Stevie and Jocelyn being married, you said that you already knew that they wasn't married and you was just playing along. So was you playing along with them being married, or did you think they was married and you was doing it for what? My daughter. So it appears that Promise Be Made tried to get with the whole Creep Squad Atlanta. Yes, they were talking about what was going on with Stevie J and Promise Be Made lying just so she can be on TV. I'm like, really? This is what you want to be famous for lying about getting with a married man and getting a supposed married man and getting pregnant by him? This is your goal. So apparently she didn't hit up both Scrappy and Jock in the DM, and Jock was mesmerized by her eyes. But I was like, there's a good possibility if they had it hooked up, she would have got pregnant, because Jock seemed like he gets everybody pregnant. He like gets within like touching distance of like any woman he gets with, he done got pregnant. I'm surprised Carla Red wasn't pregnant. I'm surprised Kadia didn't get pregnant. I think she thought she was pregnant, but I think that was a lie. I'm like, Promise Be Made, when you was going through the whole creek, well, minus Kurt, and like, Kurt really wasn't. I'm not saying this to be rude, but like, Kurt really wasn't nobody on a radar to want to get pregnant by. I mean, not that, Jock and Scrap are like the head persons to get, pregnant by. But I guess, hey, if I get pregnant by them, there's a good chance I can get on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and I can reach my goal of fame and people will know who I am. So I guess she probably could have got with Kurt, because that would have been a good storyline for Kurt and Rashida, which is odd because I think they probably would have did something like that, because y'all know they always got some kind of weirdness going on to where she's always thinking that he's trying to cheat on her, which I'm like, really? But yeah, so Promise Be Made and tried to get with Creep Squad Atlanta, and I guess she wasn't successful, even though Jock was mesmerized by her eyes. So we have Jocelyn and KK, and Jocelyn just tells KK, you are too old to be out here stealing Chanel purses. You need to get a job. Yeah, that's true. Well, KK feels, my job is to whip your tail. I forgot to mention this last episode where KK, her son, and her dog, I guess, went to like turn herself into the police. And she said out of her mouth that the police randomly picked her out. Now, KK, I don't know if you think we are stupid, the viewers, but the police ain't just randomly like, okay, riding down the street like, look, her, she looks like the perfect person we can, pin this crime on. Let's go ahead and wrangle her up. No, KK, you were out here committing crimes. Now, I think this is what happened. She was with somebody that was committing fraud. So I'm thinking maybe somebody turned her in, or maybe things just caught up with her. But in my mind, she had an accomplice and things were going well. Well, she decided to go on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. The accomplice, was like, hey, I heard you were going on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Let me get on a few episodes, maybe get a few dollars. I can be on TV. And KK was like, no, that's not such a good idea. Accomplice gets mad and just pins everything on KK. I'm always going with some out-of-world explanation of what went down, but I'm not going to believe her explanation that she was randomly targeted. Now, they were going to the police station. I can see her son going with her, support and all that stuff, but I'm not really sure why the dog needed to go. I don't know why she carries her dog everywhere. Like, I'm surprised that she did not have the dog with her on the reunion. I'm pretty sure next episode the dog will make an appearance, but why was your dog with you when you was, I guess, turning yourself in? Y'all, the look Bambi gave Scrappy when he said, yeah, I thought Betty Ida was a beautiful girl. And she was like, who's beautiful? And it took him a minute to face Bambi because he knew at that moment he had messed up. And she's sitting there continuously asking him, who was a beautiful person? Then Bambi gets mad like, okay, Betty Ida, you over here talking about some, Scrappy, he's an excellent producer, but yeah, when he didn't want to work with you no more, he was, oh, he ain't nobody, he's the lowest of low, I ain't even trying to work with you anyway, kind of situation. And Bam was like, I don't know why you mad at me. Like, don't get mad at me, you don't know me. Don't get mad at me because the dude you was trying to get with was still in love with me. I can't help it that I have that man's heart. Now, I'm paraphrasing on what's going on. She's like, you're not even mad at me, you're mad at me, like, because I'm friends with somebody who whooped your tail. That's why you're mad at me. And you shouldn't be mad at me. I can't help that I'm gorgeous and that my man wants me and he don't want you. That's basically what I got out of that whole little segment right there. Mama D says she's going to bring Bambi into the fold. Bambi and Scrappy, they set a date for July 2016 to get married. And I hope they have a wonderful, happy life. Don't be spending too much money on a wedding, because you can have your nice wedding without being too expensive. And y'all can save up money, get y'all a house, a condo, something like that. So that's my, advice for people. I had a nice wedding and I did not spend thousands of dollars. And it turned out fine. So we find out that Stevie only pretended to be married to Jocelyn, but somehow a magazine got out and said that they was married. And this made her very happy, and he liked her being happy, and he was hoping that, hey, things progressing and things going better, that they will eventually get married, but that didn't turn out the way he thought it was, and like now, this is where they are at. in the whole situation and scheme of things. And I was like, I was sitting here listening to what Jocelyn said, and she, in her version, is they was married. She keeps going back and forth to they was together for 5 years and 6 years. So I don't know if it's they was supposedly married for 5 years, but like he was with Mimi in like season 1. It wasn't that long he was with Mimi, but he was with Mimi nonetheless. So I don't know if y'all was together while he was with Mimi. I don't know, but she said that she brought him up out of the gutter because he was living in Mimi's garage, and she made things better for him. I'm going to say that's a lie. I don't know how, as you as a stripper, I don't know how much you was making, but how did you bring him up out of, Mimi's garage? Like, I can't even see Mimi letting Stevie sleep in the garage. I was surprised that he was sleeping on her couch in his house. She had an extra bedroom, but like sleeping in the garage, like Stevie J was basically homeless. And he got with her and she brought him up higher. But I was like, he was the one that brought you in and made you a star. So I'm not seeing how these two correlate together. Like, how is it that he was the known person and you weren't, but you brought him up? And you was always so grateful for him, like the first 2 seasons, and you was scared he was going to send you back to the pole. But now all of a sudden you brought him up out of the gutter? Not believing it. So we find out that Tommy tried to run Jocelyn over. When asked, Tommy was like, yes, I tried to run her over with my car. But Jocelyn waited to right before the reunion / exposed and unfiltered to file a restraining order. And the host wants to know, like, if this happened like 4 months ago, why did you wait to just recently to do that? And she's like, you don't know when I did that. She's like, well, on the police report in the restraining order, it says when it was filed. So I know these situations. And she was like, well, I know you think you know these. You are blogging all that stuff. And she's like, first of all, I am not a blogger. I am a journalist, and that's what I went to school for. Get it right, boo. But I was like, you better go ahead and tell her, like, I'm not just a blogger, and not trying to down blogger. But she's like, I went to school to be a journalist. This is what my degree is. I'm supposed to ask these questions. This is what you're supposed to do when you're conducting an interview. You want to get the information from the person. Like, why did you wait 4 months? Like, you obviously didn't feel like your life was in that much jeopardy, or you would have did it right after it happened. So Jocelyn shows up on a day that she wasn't supposed to be filming, and she's distraught because she just found out yesterday that she's pregnant. And we're trying to figure out, okay, who's the daddy? She's like, well, me and Stevie slept together like 3 months ago. And my first thought was like, you've been pregnant all this time and you didn't know. But she's like, she thought it was stress. I was like, yeah, that could possibly be the reason. But my first thought would have been like, okay, I'm pregnant. So it was like, went through this before with you. I'm gonna need you to take like another test like right now. This is like deja vu, because like season 1 she found out she was pregnant with Stevie J's baby, but I don't know if it was a joint decision for her to have an abortion, or was it his, or was it hers. So now it looks like Jocelyn is pregnant yet again. Now we don't know who the father is, but she is pregnant. So that was just went on. What else happened? Okay, we're going to talk about looks right now. Jessica Dimes, she did not have her all full-on pink hair, which I was, I didn't like the hair. The style was kind of cute. I just didn't like the color. And I was just happy that, hey, she didn't have on all pink or that fuchsia pink line color that she's always got going on. Like, I was happy about that. I liked the style. I just didn't like the color. It was kind of like a rainbowish kind of. It had some pink in it. It had some blues, looked like some grays, a little bit of like a tealish green. I didn't care too much for that. We had Tommy. She had like a kind of a biker / glamour thing going on. Like, her hair was like, it wasn't a mohawk. It was more like she had like a rat tail, a long rat tail. That's the only way I can explain it. She had on a leather jacket. She had on what looks like a bikini top with extra pieces. And then this nice cute skirt, some kitten heels, and something on her hand. Like, it wasn't gloves. It just looked like she had put on like a headband over her fingers and called it a day. KK had on a dress that reminded me of Nene's dress from like a few seasons ago on a reunion. That's all I can think of right now. So I was happy that Jessica John did not have on peak. So that was the gist that went on. If I left anything out, by all means leave a comment or video response. And like always, I want to thank my subscribers and the people who watch my videos. I want you to like this video, comment, and subscribe. And share this video with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on YouTube. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.